I can't feel my tongue. I can't feel my tongue. Hey, what's going on, everybody? From First We Feast, I'm Sean Evans, and you're watching Hot Ones. I've got veggie, they're cauliflower wings, for all you vegans out there. Let's just go into it. My guest today is the star of Nothing. They have nothing to promote. Welcome, Ellie Bogle.
So Sean Evans, he takes him like a champ. And he's not supposed to react. But I'm on the first wing, and it doesn't have any sauce on it. And I'm gonna cry.
We at the show heard you have some negative experiences with social media starting young. What platforms did you start off on, and what was so negative about these experiences? So I started out on social media pretty young. I had a MySpace as soon as it came out. I had a Facebook when it came out because my sister got one, and I was like, that's cool, I'll do that. But then with the introduction of Instagram and Snapchat, I was like, I'll download these. So I downloaded Instagram and I downloaded Snapchat. And both kind of led to blackmail. I would post something, and then one of my siblings or a classmate would find it, and it would all go downhill. Kids would show it to teachers. They'd be like, look, she posted a picture of her foot. It's like, oh no, I posted a picture of my foot. And it wasn't a fetish thing. I was showing off my nail polish. But that would turn into me getting grounded, or I'd get in trouble with teachers and have to stay in from recess. I never posted anything bad, but it was it was so weird. Yeah. And then Kik, especially. I'm sure you remember Kik as that creepy web app where you could message your friends, but random people could message you. Literally just anyone. They didn't need your username or anything. And a bunch of old men would always catfish me because they'd have pictures of people my age. And I just remember being 12 and getting dick pics from really old men. It was very creepy. It was always very uncomfortable. And I definitely started social media too young, because no 12-year-old should be looking at a 40-year-old man's dick. Did I put that in the right order? Whatever. Social media is not a place for young children, but it's so accessible to them, especially now. Because parents placate their kids by giving them an iPad and setting them in front of the TV. So it definitely is a problem that's spreading. It just sucks. Because I know I started out too young and it affected me. So I shudder to think how it affects kids now. I put this sauce first because when I taste tested it, it had no kick. But with the hot sauce that's already on these wings, it has a lot of kick. I'm so mad. So how did these negative social media experiences affect you in your life, and how do they affect you today? So yeah, it affected me a lot. I was always scared. I was scared to post anything, and I was scared to get on social media. After that, around age 12, 13, I had it. And then I don't think I got any social media again until I was 16. I was just so scared. I didn't want to see any dicks, obviously. But in addition to the kids would bully me for what I posted on social media. I didn't want that. I just, there was a lot, and I was just so scared. And I think it affects me now, because like Twitter's kind of like a political and a funny place, and I'm always like so scared to like say something like, "Oh, I support this candidate," or like some joke that I thought of, because like I remember being bullied on social media, and I remember how it affected me. So for a while, I had all of my social media completely on private. Um, I was just so scared. And yeah, it sucks because like social media is supposed to be a place of connectivity, and yet I felt so isolated and alone with it. Um, so it definitely affected me. Oh, that's extra hot sauce.
Now I'm dying.
So we understand you have little brothers. How have you seen them affected by social media, and how do you think growing up with social media has affected them? I feel like my brother's starting social media young. It's weird. Um, I'm not gonna eat these. I think we know that. I just wanted to lean forward. Like it's weird because my little brother Daniel has like so many Instagram accounts because he keeps forgetting the password. Um, and like that's so funny. Like he doesn't think anything of it. He just has like 4 accounts out there with his name attached to him, posts from him. And he's just fine with it. He's just out there. Um, and like my little brother Mark Henry, um, he for the longest time his Instagram was like Markitect Sketches because he wanted to be an architect and he sketched, and it's so cute. And he would post his art on there. But the older he gets, because he's 16 now, the older he gets, the more like his Instagram starts to be about him. And he deleted most of his old sketches. And like he posts pictures like with a guitar, and then that's it, like for months. Um, it's so weird because social media is supposed to be a place where you express yourself. But like he's hiding his self-expression. Um, I guess because it's not cool. Um, Even though his art is incredible. Um, it's weird. And then like my youngest brother, Edward, like it's so weird like seeing his social media because like he doesn't have any social media. He just has like he's just on multiple platforms. Like he'll show me something that was like from Tumblr, and he'll like show me YouTube videos, and he's 10. Um, and it's so crazy because like sometimes I think he'd rather be on his phone looking at something than actually talking to me. I think like if I were to like Skype message him and say like, "Hey, what's up?" he'd respond to me faster than if in person I was like, "Hey, Edward, what's up?" Because he's just so trapped by his devices, and it's strange. And then I've got another brother, but he's literally a year younger than me, so his experience is the same as mine, except for like the seeing old men dick part. So that one's whatever. So, what larger effect did social media have on your brothers, and what do you think? What do you think it did to them? So I kind of already touched on how it affected Mark Henry and how Daniel's completely unaffected. But as for my little brother Edward, um, I really think like growing up as like a Zoomer, and in like this digital age, he's kind of like attached to it almost. Like he's like so plugged into it, you'd think like he charges it with his ear or something. Because it's just completely who he is. And everything he watches, because he watches YouTube constantly. Like everything he watches, they're like and subscribe, like and subscribe, like and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram, follow me on Twitter, and it's just like this constant need um, to like be further out on social media, um, and to be out there, um, because like I don't know, I guess it's like so enthralling. I think because I was so scared for the longest time, I'm not necessarily attached to social media. Like if I deleted all of it today, I'd be a little sad that I lost my streaks. Um, but I mean, I could live without Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter. Um, but he's just so attached to it that like grounding for him is taking away his phone or tablet, where grounding for me was, hey, you can't go outside and play with your friends. So I don't know. It's so strange how social media has become more and more impactful the more time progresses.
When I like am answering the questions, I'm faking it. I can't feel my tongue. I can't feel my tongue.
I can't feel my mouth, but what's the so what factor? What does this all mean? What's your takeaway from it? Who's your audience? Answer all that, please. So the like so what factor here is that like social media is spreading so quickly, and it has so much impact. Like Instagram was talking about removing likes, and so was Twitter, because like the likes affect people. Like people's mental health declines because they don't get enough likes on their Instagram post. And it's crazy. Like social media has such a huge impact, and especially when you start young. I know that I'm still afraid, and I'm 20 years old, and I'm afraid because like something happened when I was 12. So it's just it definitely like affects people. It's just all around us, and it doesn't go away. That it just has such a big impact, and when you start so young, it affects you. I think my little brother's like a completely different person, like after getting a tablet. It's just crazy to think that social media was this connected platform, and people just get so isolated. Like if, like Paul Rudd, he's 50, right? If Paul Rudd had an Instagram, like it'd be fine, because he's already established. Like people already know him. He's already secure in himself, and being on Instagram isn't something that like impacts him. It's just a way to share the movies he's in or the people he hangs out with. But when you're younger, when you're like 16, it's like a way to be cool. If you're not cool on your social media, you're not cool in person. And when you're 10, like it's just so important to you. So it's crazy to think that social media has this huge impact when like I don't know, in 2008 or something, my sister and I would just sit and scroll through MySpace because we saw cool edits of our favorite singers. Now it's something that can affect your mental health, and it's something where politicians post. Like Donald Trump's Twitter is huge. It's so weird that it's become something so big, and with the impact it has among adults, it's insane to think that it doesn't affect children. And Instagram has a policy like you can't be on it if you're under 14 or something. But nobody listens to that. I had an Instagram before I was 14. I know people who have Instagrams before they're 14. My little brother has an Instagram and he's 13. So like it's you can't control it. And these kids want to be on it because it's a way to be cool, and YouTubers are shoving it down their throats, and many YouTubers are playing to that like 8-year-old audience. So it's spreading and it won't stop. And I think it's important to like teach your kids or your siblings like you don't need it. It's not everything. You can be cool by bringing Pokemon cards to recess. You don't have to be cool by posting who you like on Instagram. There's so much more to life than the phone in your hands. So you can just expand past that. Social media is great for many reasons. You can spread your ideas, you can spread messages, and it's a great platform. Like there are so many great platforms out there, and now I'm talking to people my age. it's great for you to have something like social media so that you can spread ideas quickly and you can boost connectivity, but don't let it isolate you. The main reason that it isolates people is because they start so young, and if they start out wrong, they're as good as done. So don't let social media affect you. I know that's hard. It affects me. I can't like say that. But don't let it be like the defining feature of who you are. Use like the internet and use these digital platforms to spread your ideas. But don't let the ideas come back and bite you in the bum. I think that's all I have to say. And I forgot to do this like when I was dressed as Sean Evans, but this camera, tell people what you're doing. I don't know if I forgot any other like Hot Ones things. They do like explain that gram where you explain Instagram pictures. But that kind of goes against my message because that's like, oh, look at this funny picture on Instagram. And I'm saying Instagram can affect kids. So I didn't do that one. But this camera. Yeah.